Hello, and we are back with a new video. Wilfred Benitez versus Tommy Hearns. This is a funny part of the video. Pre-fight stare down. I'll just stay silent. Okay, now I think we're gonna start the fight now. Okay, so for this fight, it follows kind of the similar route that the Leonard fight happened with Wilfred Benitez. It starts off with Tommy Hearns trying to land that big right hand on Benitez. He quickly realizes that he couldn't in the first round or two, and then the game plan changes. So we shall see what happens. I don't know what the ref is doing there, grabbing onto the ropes. Now, Hearns is a harder target for Benitez to land on because of his reach. And this is what Leonard did to Benitez closely in the first round or two, which is trying to push forward and catch Benitez while Benitez on the ropes. But Tommy Hearns and Leonard quickly realized that that's not the right game plan. That's what Benitez wants you to do. Even with a dynamite hand like Hearns, Benitez was not scared of that. See? Now, I've made a short video about this on Instagram, which is Benitez's feints, and he feints a lot, and we'll see Tommy Hearns, who's not feinting as much. He does feint, but not as much as Benitez, like right there. He'll begin to feint Benitez to make Benitez get stuck. So what Benitez wants to do when he does these type of moves, he kind of wants to freeze you for a sec, so you don't throw that right hand if you're Hearns, or so he could land his own punches. Now, quick. There you go. Now, if you watch my older videos or my previous videos about Benitez's film study, you know how he tries to land that right hand. Now, the reason I said he's going to have trouble landing that on Tommy Hearns is because of Tommy Hearns' reach. Did that land? Not really. Okay, so Tommy Hearns is too far for Benitez to land on him. So the only way really that Benitez could land his punches is if Hearns cuts the distance himself. See, that's when Benitez could catch Hearns, is when Hearns is the one moving forward. And like I mentioned, the Leonard fight, Leonard and Hearns started to time Benitez as Benitez moved forward. So Benitez had some trouble moving forward against those two. He was a lot more comfortable bringing those guys in and then countering them. Nice feints from Hearns. Nice double, triple jab. You could see Hearns feinting back at Benitez, who feints a lot. Feinting is a big part of his game plan. Beautiful head movement. I'm just letting these rounds go by because this is before Tommy Hearns figures out Benitez. I think Leonard was the first guy out of the two to fight Benitez, so Hearns probably watched the fight, studied it, Now he has Emmanuel Stewart in his corner, who, if you watch my study about Klitschko versus Lennox Lewis, I said that, and a lot of people said that he's one of the greatest coaches in the history of boxing, I think, personally. He knows what to do again. He knows how to coach you through a fight. And he trained, even as a shorter man, he trained a lot of tall, lanky fighters very well. So I think he was a very good coach. And I think what he told Hearns is to feint back at Benitez. Let's see if Hearns does the same thing, trying to come forward in the second round. Now, when Benitez had trouble with Leonard was when Benitez tried to come forward. And I've explained how Benitez moves forward by keeping that right hand aimed at you, feinting, changing level, and then either shooting that right hand to the body or to the head. I did a study of Benitez versus Maurice Hope, and that perfectly explained Benitez's style throughout the 12 rounds. Benitez is very comfortable of letting opponents move in and him countering like that. Then he is moving forward. And you see Hearns is just trying to put him in the corner, trying to make him pause for a sec. But he does not stop moving. He's always shaky. Moving back. There's fighters that are good at moving back. Benitez was good at fighting against the ropes. Look at that. The other thing is, Benitez will get hit clean with one punch, but he won't get hit clean with two punches in a row. See that he's frustrating Hearns. For a guy to sit on the ropes, he's not really sitting on the ropes. His back is to the ropes, but he constantly moves his head and his hands and his waist. But for a fighter to stand in front of a guy like Hearns on the ropes in the second round, first and second round, that tells you how good Benitez was. Not a lot of fighters could sit on the ropes against Hearns, because that right hand he just needs that one right hand and you're done. His nickname was the Hitman. So, but for Benitez to be in this position for the first two rounds is incredible. And see, that's when he lands the right hand, is when Hearns is cutting the distance himself. He doesn't really land it, rolls off the shoulder of Hearns, but that's when he's throwing it. Nice jab to the body. See that he's not sitting still on the ropes. He's always moving, but he is on the ropes. So it's like a fake illusion. He's not moving his feet, but he's moving his torso, his head, his hand, his eyes. Everything's shaky. Hearns doesn't know where to throw. Nice jab to the stomach. He made him miss a lot of these shots in the replay. In between the round, they show this, and like no other guy could just stand in front of Hearns like that and just make him miss those right hands. Incredible. Yeah, Hearns lands a couple, but not nearly as much as he should have. So I believe after this round is when Hearns starts to implement the new game plan, which is him moving back or trying to keep distance between him and Benitez, and then letting Benitez close the gap. Telling you, not a lot of guys could sit on the ropes against Tommy Hearns. His right hand in that point of his career in the second round and just make him miss. Only Benitez. So he has KO'd 89% of his 36 opponents. So. I'll also be doing a film study of Benitez versus Duran. I think that was one of his best performances ever against a top fighter like Duran. Sorry, the mic is falling off. There you go, okay. This is what I was waiting for, so I guess it starts in round 3. Now, in the first 2 rounds, we saw the hitman trying to hunt down Benitez. Now the hitman is stepping back and that Benitez coming forward. Okay. Now, like I mentioned in the Leonard fight, Benitez, when he comes forward, and not in this here, but in his other times when he moves forward, he kind of, see how his head kind of floats in a straight, his head kind of freezes for a sec when he tries to move in. And that's where Mr. Hearns is going to be catching him. See Hearns stepping back. So the great defensive fighter that can fight going back or sitting on the ropes, you want to make them move forward. You don't want to be the one always pressing them. And here you see the other times when Hearns does move forward, he's going to do a little bit more, you're going to see a little bit more clear. But he's starting to feint a lot with Benitez. He's trying to freeze him back. Can't really see it here, but we'll see in a bit. See how in the first 2 rounds, when in this position, Hearns would be ready to throw his right hand, trying to land his right hand. He's not even trying to land it. He's just seeing where Benitez is going to move, step back. And this is what I was talking about. So when Benitez moves forward here, his hands are down and then his head gets caught floating over here. And that's very dangerous against a guy like Hearns who's going to time him. Now he misses that one, Hearns, but we'll see what happens later on. And this is what I was talking about when you can see the feints from Hearns clearly. Now, Hearns is trying to freeze back Benitez. The great feinter like Benitez, if you just let them feint you, what they're trying to do to you is freeze you from throwing punches or freeze you to get stuck so they could land their own punches. So when a guy's trying to freeze you with their feints, what you have to do is feint them back to freeze them. See now how Hearns, see how he's moving his head, his hand. He's exaggerating his feints. He's taking away the power of the feint away from Benitez. See that? This is the video I made. This is a clip I used for the Instagram video. And now Hearns can commit a little bit more to his punches because he has Benitez frozen a little bit more. The other thing is look at how many times Hearns touches his nose. It's a good reminder to keep your hands up. It might just be a tick of his, but a lot of fighters do that to know, hey, is my hand up? The thing in boxing is you don't have a mirror like you do in the gym. So you have to set physical reminders, which is touching your ear, touching your eyebrow with your thumb, touching your nose. And you see how much less aggressive that Hearns is in the 3rd round compared to the first 2 rounds. Same exact thing that happened with Leonard when Benitez fought him. Is they get really aggressive, then they quickly find out how good he is defensively, and then they kind of leave him alone for a bit. So right there on the ropes, in the 2nd round, Hearns was attacking Benitez, but now Hearns is not committed as much. Same again with a guy like Benitez, you can't commit to your punches as much, especially when when his reflexes are quick in the first couple rounds. You gotta make him make mistakes, make him come forward. See what happens here. Nice time punch. So Benitez comes up with a jab. Hearns catches him with the hook. Just as they say, when you fight a guy that comes forward a lot, pushing back, you might not know how to... What was that? Michael Dokes versus Mike Weaver. This might have been the same night that Larry Holmes fought Tim Witherspoon. I'm not too sure. Yeah, same thing that happens when they say if a fighter knows how to come forward, then push him back. If a fighter knows how to move back, make them come forward. And how do you do that? You just take a step back. Subconsciously, that fighter is going to have to come forward. I'm not sure why I paused there. If a fighter's good with their defense, make them be offensive. If a fighter's good with their offense, make them think defense. Just find what they're good at, do the opposite of. It doesn't always work, but it's a good starting point, setting up your game plan. Now, a flexible game plan, that's what great fighters have. Pretty sure Hearns had a game plan of landing that right hand on Benitez in the first couple rounds. Didn't work out, has to come up with something new. And that's why game plans should never be concrete, especially against another grade A fighter. You should always have be able to manipulate your game plan depending on what you see in the ring. You can never guess what's gonna happen in the ring, so you could kind of guess of a game plan to set, but you should always be ready to change it up a little bit depending on what's happening in the ring. And like I said, great fighters like Leonard, Hearns, Lennox Lewis versus Vitaly Klitschko. After the second round, they know to fix their mistakes. They don't make their mistakes for too long in the fight. I see Hearns backing up a lot. Now, if you're Tommy Hearns, you're like, this guy's way smaller than me, why would I move back before the fight? But like I said, he realized how good Benitez is, and he realized that he had to be the one moving back sometimes. Now, I've done also videos about how good the right hand of Benitez is. Like right here, Benitez always keeps his right hand aimed at his opponent, and he throws a lead right. Now, against Maurice Hope, that right hand landed a lot because they're the same height. But Tommy Hearns has a longer reach, so he's a little bit farther back. So when Benitez throws that right hand and it gets stopped around here, it gets caught short, that's when Hearns could counter him. See that feint from Hearns? He feinted so hard the camera shut off for a sec. Feint back from... See, there you go. And even then, he caught him with a punch, and this is what I mean when Benitez doesn't get caught with two hard punches. Two clean punches in a row, so... Right? I'm not sure even if he landed that one. Hearns slips, goes under that right hand, and now Benitez has Hearns on the ropes. I think the Hearns having the longer arms is what let him beat Benitez. And this is what I was talking about, is Benitez, his head floats here, and if Hearns can start timing his head movement, like right there, that's dangerous for Benitez. That's the second time Hearns caught Benitez with the hook as Benitez came up from that crouch. Now Benitez feints a lot, but he doesn't come in with two jabs. He doesn't start off the... He should have been jabbing. Even if your jabs are going to fall short, see how Hearns, now that's the third time where Benitez goes low, and as he comes up, Hearns tries to time him with that left hook. Benitez catches him with a jab. Benitez throws those jabs coming up, which are tricky to defend. Nice jab by Hearns. But I think he should have threw more jabs and just stepped in behind them. Even though they might have fallen short, he might have set something up for him. See how Hearns is in and out, in and out. He's not going in all the way. Feinting Benitez on the ropes. Now remember what happened in the first two rounds, how aggressive Hearns was towards Benitez, and now he respects him a lot more. Sticking that left hand out, catching Benitez as he comes up. I don't like people that give excuses to fighters that, oh, this guy didn't train as hard or whatever. Like I mentioned before, if you sign a contract and you go into a fight, there's no more excuses. I don't care if you didn't train a single day, like Andy Ruiz versus Joshua in the rematch. You are what you do in the ring. There's no... Because if you give excuses to one guy, then every single fighter has an excuse. Watch Tommy Hearns feinting and moving with Benitez. He's not standing still. Benitez is like a hypnotist. Can't let him hypnotize you. Gotta move with him. Cancel that hypnosis out. See that? Now this is what I meant when Benitez had trouble cutting off the distance between him and Hearns. See when Hearns steps back, Benitez's head kind of floats in a straight line. And he's gone short, and now Hearns can land his left hook. This is the next one with the right hand that Benitez throws. That lead right comes up short, but Benitez throws the left hook. Let's see if that lands. So Benitez, he did this in a lot of his other fights where he kind of drops. Now the other guy doesn't know if that right hand is going to the body or to the face. Benitez throws that right hand, comes up short, steps over, rolls, lands a left to the body. He would have had more success against a guy with a shorter reach than Tommy Hearns. What's that point for? I'm not sure what that was. Probably holding his head down or something. And Hearns is just as frustrated as Leonard in their fights against Benitez. You see that? Benitez is that fighter that's not going to win every fight, but you're going to know that you're not a better fighter than him while you're fighting him. And a lot of fighters, they don't fight, especially back in the day, they didn't just fight to win a fight. They wanted to fight to prove to themselves that they were the better fighter than the opponent. Same with Sugar Ray Leonard versus Benitez. And although Leonard was winning the whole fight against Benitez, he wasn't satisfied until the end when he actually stopped Benitez. That's when he knew he finally caught him. Because before that, Leonard would do something good and then be like, okay, now I'm going to go in for the finish. And then Benitez would make him miss, and then Leonard would have to start all over again. So these fighters, they don't care about winning the fight only, but they want to know in their heart that they're better than the opponent. It's not like today where you just want to get a win. And sometimes not even get a win these days, just make some money. But back in the day, they really cared about knowing in their hearts that they were the better fighter. Now, how does Now I spoke about Benitez trying to move forward. So he's going to move forward with that right hand. See, he does that little dip down. Now he comes in shooting with that right. Falls short almost, or hits the chest. And he rolls under. Comes up with that left. And then Hearns comes back with his own left. Nice left by Benitez. See, Benitez trying to create an attack, trying to freeze Hearns so he could jump in with that lead right. But Hearns is feinting him back and he's taking away that option from him. There goes Hearns catching Benitez on the way in. There he goes again, catching Benitez with that left hook again. Now Leonard caught Benitez coming in with the jab, then he throw the right hand. Hearns is catching him with that hook. But nice left by Benitez, so he misses that right hand. He gets countered, but he still commits to throwing that left on Hearns. Tricky, tricky, tricky. See how he kind of jumps up with that left uppercut jab type of thing? Benitez pushes a lot of guys' heads upwards. See right there again, he tries to move forward, but Hearns tells him, hold on. I'm going to step back and catch you moving in. So here, see how Benitez has the habit of dipping down before he jumps into an attack. Here he comes in with the left hook. But Hearns steps back and keeps him away. Like in the Leonard fight, I think Benitez should have used the double jab and not dip down every time, because then it's easier to read by the opponent. Even if he's going to miss against Hearns, just jab, jab, just step, just walk in. Easier said than done though, because Hearns is going to catch him moving in anyway. But when you move in the same way every time like that, a good opponent like Hearns, he's going to time you moving in, so you gotta disguise how you move in. No, I think here he's just off balance. I think that landed. Let's watch his feet. So anytime you see someone fall weird, okay, why did Benitez fall like that? Well, watch his left foot is on the ground, but watch his right foot. It's in the air when he gets caught. Okay, that's why he's standing on one leg. And that's why that's the way it looks way worse than the best time to land a punch on someone is when they have a foot in the air. Or if their feet are not in the right position. But he's not hurt, he just didn't have any placement for his right foot. That's why you want to always minimize the time that your feet are up in the air when you're fighting, because at any moment you can get caught, and if you get caught with your feet up in the air, then very, very bad, not good. Now in these rounds, Hearns hasn't figured out Benitez all the way through. Benitez still able to land some shots. But I think the biggest problem for Benitez was that Hearns was just too tall, too lanky. See, I don't think that landed clearly, but he just didn't have his right hand his on the ground when that happened. Guys that I like, see that right foot is in the air. I like Alexis Arguello because he always had his foot placement well. Floyd Mayweather. There's some other fighters that always had their feet placed. Joe Louis had his feet placed nice. Because if you're on one foot, a guy could throw a pillow hand jab at you and still knock you off balance. So, but when you have 2 feet on the ground, you could eat a right hand and still not fall. So foot balance is the most important, or balance in general. Always have your feet in the right position. Now, a good fighter like Hearns, he can time you and your feet up in the air. I don't think that knockdown was timed, but he can. That's why you always got to take a look at your opponent's feet every now and then, especially as a coach. Like right here, safe. Benitez got a caught with a jab here. He's way off balance. And if you watch Frankie Randall drop Chavez had his feet, I think, in the same position as this, side by side, and he was not ready to eat that right hand, and that's why he fell. Now Benitez is going to move in, and like I said, he dips down and his head goes in a straight line. And that's when Hearns is going to start to really counter him or catch him. Off my elbow. There you go. This is what we're looking for. So when Benitez starts getting tricky like this, see how he's moving? And then he commits. Now watch his head. He kind of gets stuck in there. So he jumps up one last time, comes in, and then Hearns catches him with 3 shots. And he backs up. So Leonard caught Benitez more with the jab, and another combination, Hearns is catching him more with that hook when Benitez tried to move in. Hook and a 45-degree uppercut. And this is how you know that Hearns not only respected Benitez, but he was trying to catch Benitez on the way in. Because every time since the second round that Hearns has Benitez on the ropes, he's not really attacking, just feinting and stepping back. Nice control. Now, why didn't Hearns throw that right hand when Benitez was on the ropes? He waited for Benitez to move in before he threw that right hand. And that's what I mean. If you want to understand what I'm saying more, is every time Benitez drops his head, follow this white line. Okay, watch where Hearns' glove is, and watch where Benitez's head is when this happens. Okay. So before, Hearns was throwing the right hand when Benitez, his head was above the red rope. Now watch what happens down here. Okay. Now, like I said, in the first 2 rounds, Hearns would have started throwing right hands while Benitez was in this position, but now he knows that Benitez is going to move in and his head's going to be over here. Benitez isn't going to move in straight ahead with his head up. He's going to bend down first. So Benitez drops down. See, he comes up, drops down. Now Benitez, from here, he wants to throw that left hook or that right hand or step in again. But Hearns steps back and catches him with that right hand. And the punch and Benitez's head are both on the white rope. And that's what I meant by... No, this is the same thing that happened with Leonard, is what I said, is Benitez doesn't get hit clean with 2 nice punches. So here, Hearns lands a punch, and Benitez misses. Now Hearns is like, oh, I got him now. He comes in and Benitez makes him miss. And Hearns quickly learned that I'm not going to land 2 clean punches on this guy in a row. Just be happy with what I catch him with and keep working on that. Don't get too greedy. Yeah, I wish Benitez worked more on his attacking rather than just his but that's where talent comes in. Sometimes guys are talented in one aspect. So like Benitez, he was talented in staying on the ropes. He probably didn't need to work on his attack as much. His attack was nice. He just didn't vary it up. It was always the same looking at. See right there? Benitez does the drop. You don't really have the ropes here to see. He steps in, and what does Hearns do? Left hook. Step back, left hook. Okay, and Benitez's attack is foiled. So like I said before, same thing that happened with Leonard. If you want to study 2 great fights, watch Leonard versus Benitez and watch Hearns versus Benitez in the same day or a day, so they're both fresh in your mind. So Hearns is clearly winning the fight at this point. He's catching Benitez coming in. Okay. Now, like Leonard, Hearns, after he would catch Benitez with a punch, he's trying to come in and be like, oh, I'm going to get this guy. He's in the corner now. You can't catch him. He's going to make you look stupid. Benitez is like a guy that you could shoot in the leg, and then you trying to hunt him down, that you finally got him, and then he runs away again. And that just keeps happening through the whole fight. I haven't watched too many fights of Benitez's later career, but I know that they weren't as good as these ones. He started boxing very young, and his body was shot pretty young. I highly suggest, if you want to watch my fight study with Benitez versus Leonard, and this will all make better sense. Or first watch the study I did with Maurice Hope versus Benitez, and then watch the Leonard one, and then watch this one. So again, if the camera angle was different, you could do the white rope thing again. Benitez dips down, and as he moves forward, bang, by Hearns. See, you can't get aggressive with Benitez. He's gonna make you look stupid. Let's see what happens here. This is one of the right hands where Benitez is not moving forward that Hearns catches him with. Top of the head. Does a little dance. And that's what I said over and over again, is you're not going to catch Benitez twice with a clean punch. Catches this one. I think his feet were off balance again. I don't think he was hurt. Comes back again with the next right hand under. Now he just falls. I don't know if that landed. I think in the replay this punch didn't land, this left uppercut. That one probably landed. That one didn't land. We'll see in the replay what happened. That microphone is way too close to them. Caught him with that one. Let's see that. I want to see the different angle. Goes under that one. Yeah, here. Makes him miss. See? That's what I'm talking about. So we caught him with one good punch, and then Benitez is out of there. Miss. So 2 misses in a row. 1 clean punch, 2 misses. Okay, they stopped the thing here, I guess. Oh, that was a good shot right over the ear. But miss. And miss again. Does he? They stop it before we see if he lands another shot. That's the thing that was frustrating about Benitez, is if you could catch him with a good shot, he's not going to let you take another one. So watch round 7. This is a 15-round fight, so I'll stop the... right after round 7. I'll stop the video right after round 7. Now Hearns is really feinting and trying to move in. Hearns is becoming more and more, not smart, there's another word but I can't remember it, more and more understanding that he can't move in against Benitez the way he wants to, and that he just needs to let Benitez move in on him and catch him. He becomes more and more open to this idea as the fight goes on. You see him throwing less and less big shots coming forward. He just has to feint, let Benitez move in, and then counter Benitez or catch Benitez, time him as Benitez moves in. Like right there, he tried to get him with the jab. I just wish Benitez moved in different ways. He didn't always do that dip down before he came in. Now that worked against a lot of Benitez's opponents, but a guy like Hearns and Leonard, like I said a million times, they pick up on things quick. Their mind is they're not good because their bodies and their power and their speed, well they are, but it's their brains that separates them from those other fighters. So you can't catch this guy. Now the thing, I compared Maurice Hope to Sugar Ray Leonard. When Maurice Hope, he figured out that he should step back from Benitez in the 10th round, I believe, when it was way too late. Hearns and Leonard found that out after the second round. It's a nice time punch. I don't think you could fight Benitez without gaining respect for him later on. Oh, Radar. See, right there is what I'm talking about. Benitez had a trouble cutting the distance against Hearns. Hearns is too much distance between them. Now this is something I used to do similar to this, is I would move my head to the side with the first jab, and I would do it double jab moving in from this distance, and my coach said the opponent can see your head where it is and they'll just aim the jab at your head. You got to move your head to the side on the second or third jab. Now I'm not nearly as 1% as good as Benitez, but Benitez, if you see how he drops his head, and he's okay, way too long. Now against a B fighter, A fighter maybe, not an A++ fighter like Hearns, and you see Hearns picks up on that right away. Sees him, drops, backs up, bang, bang, 2 hooks, catches him. Okay, so the same stuff you get away with when you're fighting a lesser opponent. A great opponent isn't going to pick up on that. That was one of the only times that Benitez landed a right hand coming forward. But yeah, don't move your head where it's going to stick. We're going to be there for a while. The opponent's going to pick up on that. Benitez should have came in with 2 jabs, moved his head on the third one, and then threw his right hand. I think it would have worked a lot better against Hearns. Right there, Benitez tries to move in, and yeah. Okay, so that's what I want to do for this video. I'll be back with rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Does it go 15? I think it does go 15, yeah. Thanks for watching. 45 minutes. And yeah, I want to touch on the similarities between this fight and the Leonard fight. 2 great fighters, Hearns and Leonard, quickly figured out they can't attack the forever elusive Benitez, and after the second round, and they became more of trying to time Benitez moving in, and they had more success with that. And the different ways they did it: Leonard, he would catch Benitez with the jab. Hearns is catching him with a hook. And thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more. Bye.